welcome to Villages 365. I'm Debbie.
I'm Jan.
And today we're going to be doing my 10 likes about the Villages. So my first like is how clean it is. So we talked a little bit about this in actually a dislike video for what it brought us to, but the Villages is always clean. If there is a party at the square, the next morning you won't know it. If somebody throws trash out the window, the next morning you won't know it. So not that we promote throwing trash out the window, making other people clean it up, but and a lot of times too, it's the villagers I notice that are picking things up. They go for a walk. They go for a walk. They got their little bag with them, and they'll pick up all the trash along the way. And I think that's very commendable
Because they want their place looking, they want the villages looking neat and tidy. And occasionally, I think sometimes stuff flies out of carts.
Yeah, that's true.
With the wind, and maybe as part of the trash. I would hope that somebody wouldn't throw something out the window, because that's been a no-no for a long time.
Yeah, you would hope not. And that actually goes to how friendly the people in the villages can be. So I will say that overall, I think most people are friendly, and you'll find shoes, gloves, club head covers, setting on posts. And I know we had a guest over one time, and we were driving. They're like, "Why are there shoes hanging on the?" Because it flew out of somebody's golf cart, and somebody was nice enough to stop and pick it. So if you lost something,
you just backtrack.
Go back and take a look, because somebody probably put it on a post or on a curb or something for you.
And the same thing on the golf course. If you leave a club, the person next behind you will pick it up and run their cart up there and give you your club that you forgot. Yeah,
it's rare that you'll have it lifted at all.
No.
I mean, people usually are really good about returning things to people. So
very respectful.
We're all respectful. Care about one another, so that's a good thing. The other thing that I like, or one of the other things, is the amount of choices we have for golf. So Jan mentioned that she liked the golfing here, and the things that I like is we have 13 championship courses currently, and
some on the way.
And more on the way. I think they said, what did they say, three more?
Yeah.
2 or 3 more? And the one thing that I like is that the championship courses, most of them have 27 holes. So you could turn that into 3 different types of golf courses. You could play A, B, and then B, C, and then C, A. So it's like playing 3 different rounds of golf all at the same course, which I like. And the executive courses here are all free to residents. And there's some talk about trail fees, so we won't really go into that right now. But basically free to residents. There is a trail fee that you do have to pay if you don't purchase an annual trail fee. So it's like $4 or something to take your golf cart out. But you can always walk those executives for free.
They're pretty short.
And that is, that's all included.
Good exercise.
Good exercise. It's great for beginners. It's great for people that are just working on their short game, because the holes, you'll usually have maybe 1, 2 par 4s on some of the courses. But overall, they're, par 3s, par 4s, no par 5s, so it's a nice short game, and it's a great way to spend your afternoon if you're just looking to kill an hour, 2 hours. So anyway, I like the amount of choices we have for the different golf courses.
Yep.
So that part's good. The convenience of everything. So what I've noticed here is that near most of the neighborhoods, they have built strip malls that have like a Publix and a couple restaurants and maybe a dry cleaner, maybe a nail place, lots of nail salons, a hair place, things like that. So everything is easily within golf cart distance.
Oh, yeah. Quick 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes. 20.
Easy.
Yeah.
And then we're spoiled, because then when we travel anywhere else, we're like, we got to drive 20 minutes to get to something. This is crazy. Yeah. So anyway, I like the convenience that everything is very close.
Yeah, it is very close.
Yeah.
We're spoiled.
The guys are out golfing, so we're at home drinking. So, excuse me, I got to take a sip in between.
Although it's getting closer to happy hour.
It is. It's almost happy hour. It's always happy hour in the villages. So I would just like to say, and this is just a personal point of view, obviously, but the quality of homes here in the villages. So Jan mentioned there are different types of homes, and there's a home for everybody, and that's true. I will say we've been through a few hurricanes since we've been down here, and we've been in our home, and I never feel like the windows are going to come in, the house might blow over. I do feel like, and we live in the quote older section, we bought in 2000, so we're further north, but I will just say from my own personal experience, I feel our home is very well built.
Well built, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I will agree with that. Yeah, I
So-
wasn't scared.
Yeah, I think the quality of construction was really good on what we own anyway.
And we can't go to the basement anyway, so might as well ride it
No,
out.
we just lay on the floor or whatever. We have hurricane parties here in Florida and in the villages.
Make the most of it.
Yep. We grab a few cocktails, make sure we've got, you don't worry about getting water. I mean, these people that waste time on water and batteries, psh,
Yeah, just a
make sure you
cocktail.
gotta have enough vodka and stuff to get you through. Craziness. So my next thing is the weather here in the villages, which is kind of interesting because I don't know. People have said, "Do you think Schwartz did this on purpose?" I don't think so, but I do. We have a bubble over us, so a lot of times we'll be watching the weather, and it'll say you're going to get rain at 1:00. And when we first moved here, we would cancel our plans and say, "Well, I'm not going to go out there in the rain and golf or play tennis or whatever." And then it never rained, and we're like, "What happened?"
Goes over and under.
There's some sort of we're in a bubble.
I think so.
So
Have you ever seen the dome? I think we're under the dome.
we might be under the dome. Nobody's told us yet, but we call it the compound sometimes, the villages. When we leave the compound, when we leave the villages, we're leaving the compound. But anyway, so the weather here is, it's just a little different. So it's obviously nice during the winter and all that. But the thing that I think is kind of cool is that a lot of times the rain does miss us somehow. And so you're still able to complete your outdoor activities. Because most of us, that's where our time is spent, outdoors.
Yeah,
You know.
sometimes you wonder why you have a house.
Yeah, exactly. And then a hurricane comes and you remember why you do. Meeting friends is one of the things that Janet mentioned, and I just would like to go into that a little bit more about. There's, I don't know, hundreds of clubs here.
Oh, yeah.
So if you move to the villages and you're new and you're like, but I'm not going to know anybody, whatever your passion is, find it, find the club that goes with it, and you will meet a whole bunch of people that share your passion.
Yes, yeah. And we'll probably do a video on all the different clubs. And I mean, there's a newspaper that comes out. It's if you have some kind of something you like to do, there's a club for that. And if there's not, start one.
Yeah, you can start them. Down south in the newer section of the villages, they were saying well, we have, up north they have a Corvette club, whatever. There's that too. There's all sorts of clubs, but they'll say we would like one down there because a lot of the clubs do get full because they have either, if it's something that's an indoor club, they only have so much space to accommodate everybody, so they can only fit 50 people in this particular room, and that's where they're meeting. So they have to expand, either expand the room or limit their people. So, down south, I've read in the paper, a lot of people have started clubs down there.
Yeah.
And this is so just so you guys have an idea, the villages starts at 42, which is the furthest north in the villages, and it goes all the way down to Okahumpka Service Plaza. So, if you were to drive that's probably a 35-minute drive in your car, in your automobile. So, and a lot of us like to get around in our golf carts. So that's probably, just guessing, probably a 50 to 60-minute drive.
Yeah, in your cart?
To go from, at least, right?
Yeah.
To go from north to south right now. So there's plenty of room for whatever your passion is. You can come down and do it down here. So another thing that I like is the location of the villages. So, and I'm talking in relation to Florida. So if you're somebody that drives back north to visit your family, your kids and all that stuff, Florida's a really long state.
Both ways.
Yes.
Along the coast.
That's true too.
And that's true
there's
too. A lot of coastline.
If you're up by if you're up by
I-10.
Pensacola and that. But so the thing that I like about the villages is when we come down I-75, we're about 2.5 hours, I think it is, into Florida. I have friends that live in Fort Myers and Cape Coral. They usually stop here because they just need that tiny break, to spend the night and stuff so that they can still drive the other 3 hours. Yeah. And Miami and Fort Lauderdale, it takes us about
way
5 hours to get.
That's way
so
down there.
you would just figure if you are making regular trips up north to visit your family, this is a really nice location. If you're further south, more driving, unless you're flying, but more driving.
Well, and plus being in the middle of the state, most of the time the hurricanes run out of steam by the time they get. We get the rain and we get wind, but nothing like the coast gets. So it's a little safer, and your insurance is a little less.
Yeah, we're definitely not in the what do they call it, the storm surge or whatever area. So the location is great. The other thing that I like about the villages is the expense. The villages is I feel, a very affordable area. They try to keep enough restaurants that you have a choice. I mean, I will say some of the restaurants are trying to be pricey because I think some of the people from the north are coming in and saying, we would like fine dining. And so they're trying to accommodate everybody's desires, and that's good. But there's sure plenty of places that you can get a $5 breakfast and things like that. And I think that you can find good bargains, good deals as far as food, and our taxes are cheap in Florida. I mean, that's Florida, but they're cheap.
And no state income tax.
And no state income tax. And the one thing that is Village specific that I would say that I like is, so you understand all of the rec centers here are free. So if there's pool tables, ping pong, whatever it is that's in the rec center,
Shuffleboard,
it's all free. That's free. A lot of the pools, free. Everything is free. So here's the thing, and just by being a resident of the Villages. And the thing that I like is that there are people that own homes here in the older section that are probably $150,000. And then we have some homes here that are over $2 million. I mean, people think that the Villages is it's all a bunch of cheap boxes. Okay, well, not exactly. So the thing that I like, though, is that everybody's here in the same T-shirts and flip-flops. You know, Jan could be a multimillionaire and I could be a pauper, and we're sitting here together because that's how it is here. There's not really a lot of economic, I don't feel like there's a big like disparity, even though people obviously have different amounts of money and people have retired with different amounts of money, but all of the amenities are the same whether you own your $2 million house or you own a $150,000 house. Exactly. So none of that matters, right?
No.
And don't you think the people are pretty much the same? Like, I mean, I've met people and found out later that they
had a ton of money.
Yeah, had a ton of money.
Very important jobs. I mean, there's people here that have been CEOs of big companies, and you wouldn't know that. So,
yes, and that's the thing that I kind of like is it's very it's very comfortable for everybody, no matter what your economic status is.
Everybody's the same.
Yes. And so, and that's actually kind of my last thing is that I've met so many people here. I'm a tennis player and I have gotten into tennis groups, and I just love talking to people, and even golfing. You know, you'll get, because you're sitting for a bit and you're talking to people and you say, so what did you do in the real world? You know, and you get to find out how people found out about the Villages, what they did in their real lives. I have met so many people with super interesting stories and jobs back in the real world that I'm like, really? And some of them actually are still working. There's, you know, they're, like I said, very interesting without going into other people's stories. Very, very interesting. So I think it's great too when you take the time, you're retired, take the time to get to ask some questions and know some things about some people, meet people, learn about them, enjoy them.
Exactly. There's a lot of nice people, like I said in one of my videos.
Yep. So anyway, thanks for joining us, and lots of things to like here.
Exactly. We had to cut it down. Otherwise, this would be like a 5-hour miniseries.
Yeah. So
just the key points.
So anyway, come visit us. Cheers.
Cheers.
Enjoy.